Welcome back. You're tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Kanishka Sarkar. And we are getting all your questions answered by our experts. So keep them coming on the number that is flashing on top of your screen, and we'll get them answered by our experts who are now joining us again with all your questions. So let's resume with all your stock queries then. This is Mohit, who's writing from Ludhiana. He's bought 200 shares of Dreamfolks at a buying price of 259 rupees. He wants to know if he can average in at current levels. His time horizon is 2 years. Sharan, I wanted to take this question on Dreamfolks. What do you see on the charts for Dreamfolks? I mean, this stock has been down and out, for a while. Tell us, is it really a good buy at this juncture? And from a 2 years perspective, should Mohit be buying into this?
So I would definitely suggest an avoid for the stock. It's clearly broken all its support. It's trading below all its moving averages. And looking at the price action, major selling has come in the last 2 weeks. So I expect the selling to continue. So even if the stock is 180, so you please expect even the stock can reach 100 odd levels. So I would suggest exit on Dreamfolks at the moment. And I think Sharad had done a very good link on it also, given the fundamentals behind it. Axis Bank and major banks are already cancelling contracts with the company. So I don't see fundamentals are going to go worse quarter on quarter in the coming year or two. So I would suggest a clear exit. Please do not average. There are much better stocks out there where you can recover your losses.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Dreamfolks from Sharan. But Gaurang sir, now coming to you, Mahindra & Mahindra is a stock that Ignatius from Kolkata wants your view on. She wants to invest 1 lakh rupees. She wants to know if M&M is a good pick. She wants your fundamental view on this one.
Time horizon is long term. I would definitely recommend M&M as a long term investment idea. And she's spoken about 1 lakh rupees as of now. Yes, you can definitely do it from a long-term point of view. I think this is one company which has seen tremendous traction in terms of appetite for new launches as far as customers are concerned. They've also laid down a strategy, and the good part about Mahindra & Mahindra is that they have offerings across different verticals. New launches is also going to be something that is going to be driving the earnings visibility as well as market share is concerned. So start at current levels, whatever you want to invest. And I would say that in future, as and when you have investable amount, you can definitely add on to Mahindra & Mahindra. But just keep in one thing in mind, that don't have an overexposure to any particular stock or sector, because that creates unnecessary risk as well.
All right, let's move on from M&M to the next counter. This is Ravi, who's writing him from Vijayawada. He says he has 1,000 shares of HPCL at a buying price of 400 rupees. He wants to know short-term targets for the next 2 months. Sharan, all these oil marketing companies, oil-related counters are in focus, but given the fluctuation that we are seeing in oil prices, again, there was a news, as far as oil is concerned, and on the back of that, again, the oil marketing companies have, ticked up today. It is up 1% HPCL, but for the next 2 months, what are the to watch out for?
So Ankita, oil will only move up if there are geopolitical issues, and I don't see that happening in the next 3 to 6 months. So these companies will enjoy a good rally. HPCL particularly is almost near its all-time high. I would suggest an hold rating for the stock with a immediate stop loss of around 420 rupees. If it closes below 420 on a daily closing basis, you should think about exiting. But I don't see that level coming. And I think it's almost near breakout towards all-time high, which will take it to 480 to 500 odd levels. So I would suggest a hold with a target of 480 to 500 rupees.
All right, a hold call and a target of 480 to 500 rupees on HPCL. But Sharan, another question coming in for you. Our viewer Padma Sivarao from Bangalore wants to know your view on Hindalco. They have 50 shares at a price of 660 rupees per share. What's the target for 3 months?
So Hindalco has given a descending trend line breakout, and now it's consolidating on the sideways. I think you can get a new breakout about 700 odd levels, 700 to 710 rupees. Once the stock reclaims that level, I think you could see levels of 720 to 750. So I would suggest a hold on this also. But again, markets are very volatile. So please always put a stop loss in the system. Your stop loss should be around 675 on a daily closing basis for targets of 720 to 740.
I'd always put a strict stop loss, so that is very, very important in this market. But with that, it's time for a quick breather. After the breather, we will be back with your questions answered on the other side. Stay tuned.
In association with SBI, be alert, be scam safe.
ओहो सुन देखो इधर, ये छतरी भी है।
सुनो, ये हमारे लिए कुछ ज्यादा महंगा नहीं है, अभी से बिगाड़ना शुरू।
हम बिगाड़ेंगे, तुम बनो
क्या?
खरूस।
अच्छा, एक मिनट।
क्या हुआ?
अभी से इतना खर्चा करोगे तो मेरी पढ़ाई का क्या करोगे?
आप बिल्कुल टेंशन मत लो, आपके पापा ने प्लानिंग कर रखी है।
अच्छा,
उन्होंने पहले ही लाइफ इंश्योरेंस का चाइल्ड प्लान सोच रखा है, इसके लिए।
बढ़िया है।
आप आइए, बैठिए, लेके चलते हैं इसमें।
सपनों को रखो सुरक्षित चाइल्ड प्लान के साथ। सबसे पहले लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियां आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की जरूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशी ताई, ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में? चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
फिर वो वाले फिटिंग्स नहीं चलेंगे, सिर्फ ओ वाले चलेंगे। किचन फिटिंग्स बाय ओसॉक मेक्स द वर्ल्ड गो।
जब 3 साल के अक्षर को अचानक हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट होना पड़ा तो पॉलिसी बाजार की टीम ने तुरंत वहां पहुंचकर उनका लाखों का क्लेम अप्रूव करवाने में पूरी हेल्प की। बीमारी में हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस ही काम आएगा। पॉलिसी बाजार पर 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 360 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
Travel Food Services Limited launches an international public offer of equity share of face value of ₹1 each in the price band of ₹1,045 to ₹1,100 per equity share. Bid offer opens on Monday, July 7th, 2025, closes on Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. For risk factors and other details, please refer to the RHP available on the websites of the SEBI, the stock exchanges, BRLM and the company.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
सर, ड्राई बेरी पुलाव, टू गुड। गुड नो? Hey, why are you giving him such looks? Ignore tips and use your own mind before you order. Lots of people give unsolicited stock tips. It can be dangerous. Study the company and the risk associated. Invest only after analysis.
समझ कर इन्वेस्ट कर।
Donald Trump issues a stark warning to nations siding with BRICS, says he will impose additional 10% tariff on any country supporting what he calls anti-American policies. There will be no exceptions, he stated, adding that the letters confirming the tariffs will be sent today.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi slammed global double standards that sideline the global south, calling for urgent reform of outdated global institutions. Modi urged BRICS to move beyond symbolism and lead on real issues. The group also condemned rising tariffs and cross-border terrorism.
OPEC Plus surprises the energy market with bigger than expected oil output hike, raising the production by 548,000 barrels per day starting August, much more than the forecast. The move comes as global demand surges and investors remain tight.
Niti Aayog has laid out an ambitious roadmap to supercharge India's chemical sector by 2030. The plan includes world-class chemical hubs, subsidies, faster clearances and FTAs to boost competitiveness. Targets include up to $280 billion worth in production and 6% global share.
Welcome back. You tune into Buy Now, Sell Now. But before we get started with all your stock-related questions, we now have the management of a stock that is locked in upper circuit since morning, and that is Oriental Trimex, that is locked in the upper circuit of more than 5.5% right now, as you can see on the chart. Now, this marble processor and importer, Oriental Trimex, said it plans to divest land assets and a small granite unit in Odisha to reduce its expenses. The company has also said that it is poised to commence quarry operations in black granite mine this quarter and anticipates initiating commercial production start shortly thereafter. And the company has received an official mining lease from the Odisha government for the black granite quarry in May this year. Now we're joined by Rajesh Punya, who's the founder, promoter and managing director of Oriental Trimex, to answer all the questions. Hi sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Punya, first up, what is the strategic importance of this particular quarry in Oriental Trimex's long-term plans for diversifying and expanding its product offerings beyond imported marble?
Yeah, we have already acquired this black quarry, and now we have to bring it in operations. And this quarry plays a strategic role in achieving company's long-term goals. Primarily, we can say that this black granite is being introduced as a new product offering for homeowners. Secondly, this black granite has a very huge export potential, as black granite has significant export potential and is preferred for specific applications like kitchen countertops, etc. So, considering all this, this is a very new development, very significant development, I must say.
All right, that's the view coming in on the divestment plan. But Mr. Punya, hi, this is Kanishka also joining in. I also wanted to understand what are the estimated production capacities for black granite, and what are your initial projections for its contribution to the overall revenue and the market share that you're looking at?
Yeah, the initial yearly projections estimate additional revenue of about 15 crores, with 40% expected to be net profits immediately. This projection is based on approximately 200 monthly CBM units, with the plans to increase to 500 CBM units, say after a year or so. And predicting the export share of black granites in overall granites, we are quite optimistic about this quarry.
Mr. Punya, what is the projected timeline for the completion of these divestments, and what is the anticipated financial impact on the company's balance sheet and the operational efficiency once these assets are divested?
Divestment of these assets would be within this calendar year, and we will do it within this calendar year, and this, we can say, this money we will reinvest into our core business, which is basically the imported marble, which has a gross profit margins exceeding 20%. So we can say undoubtedly it will improve the company's financial health, as well as it will give us operational efficiency also, because there are certain recurring expenses there, so that all will be saved. And basically, it's a bare land which we purchased long back in 2004. And there is a small granite unit that is also in Odisha that is inoperative for a long time. So selling these assets will help us bringing much needed funds back into our system.
That's right. So you do expect, better financials and improved operational efficiency
Yes,
going forward.
yes,
But Mr.
yes,
Punya,
yes.
can you also elaborate on the market reception of these tiles so far, and what are your projections for how this product line will impact your overall market share and the current customer base?
Yeah, this the rare earth brand, which is relatively, we can say, a very new brand if you compare with other brands. So, despite being relatively new brand, we are very thankful to the customers and to the market forces. They have supported us by giving initially a very good response. And this is basically because of our 3 decades of experience and expertise in procuring imported marbles throughout the globe. So those designs we have basically put in these tiles. So these tiles are basically, we can say, quite preferred by the customers, and particularly those customers that have smaller budgets in comparison to buying the imported marbles. And secondly, so far as the company's point of view, we don't require a separate marketing efforts for this. No separate sales depot is required. So it's a product synergy also. So this way, the tiles business that is certainly going to add in the revenue and in a very impressive way in the profitability also.
Mr. Punya, one final question. Considering all these recent developments, the new vitrified tiles, the advanced cutting machine, and the black granite mining lease, and the asset divestments, how do these collectively position Oriental Trimex for the future in terms of market leadership, innovation, and enhancing shareholder value?
See, this smart cut ultra thin wire machine, that is actually a very big revolution in this industry. See, this industry works from 10 to 30% of average gross margin profits. Now, this machine is saving at least 20% of the raw material. So that means that 20% will be added to our gross profits. So it's a very big revolution. Now, divestment of certain assets, and then after this Blake query, which will add not only to the revenue but also to the profits. So collectively, all these things will have a great impact on our revenue and profitability, and ultimately it will give value to the shareholders.
Mr. Punya, that's a positive outlook coming in as far as Oriental Trimex is concerned, and how it will unlock value for the shareholders as well. But on that note, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us today.
So nice of you.
All right, moving on then. Sharan, let me come to you then. I'm looking at the stock that's locked in the upper circuit, 5+% gains coming in. In the last 6 months also, it has given some 50 to 60 odd % returns. What would be your technical view of Oriental Trimex? We've already got a perspective from the management, but what would be your view on this particular counter?
So Ankita, basically the stock is up around 60-70% since March, and now it's basically eyeing its multi-year breakout of around 17.80 rupees. So basically the technical setup is very strong, quite a good accumulation in the last 2 months, in the month of April and May. It's trading above all its moving averages, 20, 50, 100, 200. RSI is not too extended, it's at good levels, so plenty of steam is left. Now, basically, what is fueling this rally? Again, backward integration, as the management said, into black granite. Ultra thin wire machine basically will improve their EBITDA margins going ahead. Again, a tie-up with an Italian giant Gaspari. Again, exiting their non-core assets, selling them and improving liquidity in the own business. So the strategy going ahead on technical terms would be a buy on dip strategy. You should buy around 1320 to 1350. Your first target should be at a swing high or multi-year high of 1780. Once you get a breakout of 1780, you can see targets of 23 to 30 rupees. Your stop loss should be around 11 rupees 40 paise. Overall, a very strong chart pattern. A buy on dip strategy would be excellent if you can get this here. So it will be overall a buy rating from me. I think the consolidation of quite a long time may be over, and I think it's ready for a good long-term breakout.
All right, so a buy on dip strategy coming in on Oriental Trimex. But Sharan, let's stay with you and get started with resume all the queries that our viewers have sent to us. Now, the next query is coming in on Varun Beverages and NHPC. Our viewer B. Soumya from Chennai has written to us. They hold Varun Beverages shares at a price of 480 and NHPC at 80. So should they continue to hold these or exit at, or average at the current levels? If you could provide a target for the short to medium term holding period.
So for Varun Beverages, chart is very weak. It's continuously seeing selling at all levels. It's trading below all its moving averages. But now it's at a long-term support of around 450. If it breaks 450 levels on a daily closing basis, I would suggest to exit the stock. Currently, I don't see any upside coming in the next 2 to 3 months. Assuming if you want to wait for some time, I think maybe your purchase price can come back. And if at all it comes, you should exit. The chart shows a sell on high rallies. So basically, whenever stock goes up, it is witnessing selling. A stop loss should be there in the system of 450 on a daily closing basis, a very weak chart. And in terms for NHPC, I'll just check. NHPC is still decent, better than Varun Beverages. I would suggest a hold on this stock. It's trading above all its moving averages, especially the 200-day EMA. So I would suggest a hold. A next move you could see above 85, 86 levels. When it moves above 85, 86, you could see a retest of previous swing high of around 90 levels. So I would suggest a hold on NHPC.
All right, a hold view coming in on NHPC, but let's move on to the next question. This is Venu, who's writing in from Chennai. He's a senior citizen, wants to know the technical view on Hindustan Copper, wants to know is it a good buy at this juncture? He's already holding 1,000 shares at a buying price of 285. So Sharan, he's already sitting at a loss. Is it a good time to average in? What should he be doing with this particular counter?
The whole metal pack has seen a good rally in the last week, but it fizzled out on Friday again, I think on back of tariffs or whatever you say. But the chart pattern of Hindustan Copper is very good. And whenever businesses open up, you see a good rally in copper prices. So again, a very good sector to be in. The chart is showing a higher high, higher low pattern. So I don't think you have anything to worry. If the stock comes around 265 to 260 level, I would suggest you to average around that level. And but do keep a stop loss in the system. Your stop loss should be around 250 on a daily closing basis. If it closes below that, you can exit the stock and we will review it after 3 to 6 months. But a good average price would be 260 to 275. I think it will retest 290 odd levels in the coming week only.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Hindustan Copper. But Gaurang sir, now coming to you, our viewer Sequera has written to us from Goa. They want to know if they should buy Bharti Airtel at the current levels. Their holding time span is around 1 to 2 years.
A stock that has defined all laws of gravity actually. This one, Bajaj Finance, Interglobe Aviation. If you actually see from the time the market started correcting last year in October, till about March, April, May, when the FI selling has subdued a little bit, these stocks have managed to scale to a new high, if I'm not mistaken. Bharti Airtel happens to be the second largest cellular service operator in India, is virtually trading to its all-time highs. We have a recommendation of buy from our research team. But my only request to this investor would be that, start at current levels and use all dips to accumulate the stock at lower level, given the headwinds and little bit of uncertainty in the immediate short to medium terms on the market.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Bharti Airtel. Let's move on to the next counter then. They have not given their name though, but this person is holding EID Perry for 550 shares at a buying price of 580 rupees. Can they hold it for the next 1 or 2 years, or they should be booking out or average in, or wait for, or what should be the target price for EID Perry? Sharan, why don't you take this question?
So firstly, congratulations. You almost doubled your money. So I would definitely suggest take some profit out, at least 25-30%. The stock has rallied quite a bit from lower levels of 600 odd levels. I think it can retest its 20-day to 50-day EMA around 970 to 1020. At that time, you can again look at averaging this stock, but I would suggest take some profit off the table. And next, I think if it breaks out around 1120, you could see levels of 1150 to 1200 odd levels.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on EID Parry. But Gaurang sir, now coming to you, we have a query coming from a viewer Krish, who has Torrent Pharma shares, 25 shares at a price of 3,215. They want to hold it for at least a period of 3 years. They want to know if they should add more at the current price.
Well, this is one of the, large cap companies in the pharma pack, which has been a silent performer. I very well recollect the stock trading at somewhere close to about 2,000, 2,500 for a pretty long period of time. And then eventually, on fallback of earnings and business strategy changes, the stock has given a fantastic return, not only for the last 3 months, but if you actually go to see for the last 12 months or maybe more. So we have we have a buyer recommendation, I beg your pardon, on Torrent Pharma from a long-term point of view. And our targets from our research team stands at somewhere close to about 3,590, approximately somewhere close to about 3,600. So hold on to it from a long-term point of view is what I'll recommend. If you want to add to it, well, wait for a small correction, and then if you get a dip, you can definitely add.
The view coming in on Torrent Pharma, but let me move on to the next counter again. One query coming in from the metal pack, as I can see. Sharan, a lot of people asking about the metal pack. I mean, the kind of rally that we saw in the metal, and then it completely lost its shine on Friday. So a lot of people are perhaps stuck with these counters. So again, they have not given their names. They're requesting all the viewers to please start sending in your names with your question. But this person wants to know if it is advisable to buy NMDC at the current rate. What would be your advice, Sharan?
So Ankita, you are right. Last week saw very volatile trading in the metal pack. At least they went up, down, and closed actually flat for the week, the whole metal index. So for this counter, I would suggest if it moves above 71 rupees on a daily closing basis, then only you can think about entering. Currently, it's trading below all its moving average. So I would suggest an avoid for now, but do definitely keep on your watch list. And if it starts trading above 71, you can think about adding and slowly. And the next move you can see in the stock will be about 72.50. It will give a breakout, and target should be around 75 to 80 odd levels. But again, only you should enter when it closes above 71 rupees. Currently, it's an avoid.
All right, so that's the view on NMDC. But Gaurang sir, now coming to you, we have a query on Bank of Maharashtra. It's from Venkatrao, who's written to us from Vishakhapatnam. They hold 8,000 shares at a price of 68 rupees. They haven't really given us the time horizon, but assuming it's from a long-term perspective, what should they do?
Firstly, I won't give any specific comments on Bank of Maharashtra because this stock doesn't feature in our coverage as far as the BFSI or PSU banking sector is concerned. Point number one. Point number two, one needs to be very, very careful in terms of identifying stocks in the PSU banks. Just because a stock is at a double digit does not really mean that it's a value buy. This bank has had problems in terms of asset quality, and even a couple of years back, it had an issue with the top management person was asked to resign on fallback of certain issues that were not in compliance with good governance. Won't be specific again to buy, sell, and hold, but there are better alternative investment ideas. For example, if you're looking at a small private sector bank, Then our team covers on the positive side IDFC First Bank and Federal Bank. There is a coverage. We have coverage on City Union Bank. There are better banks to look at compared to a bank like Bank of Maharashtra. This is what my personal feeling is, even when it comes to the earning visibility.
All right, so that's his view on Bank of Maharashtra. But let me come to you then, Sharan. This one's by Nikhil Sharma, who's writing from Mumbai. He's an intraday trader and a short-term trader. He wants to know he has 20 shares of KPIT Tech. He's bought it at a buying price of 1,255 rupees, and he has predicted a target of 1350 actually. So he wants to know, when is the right time to exit the stock, or is it better to hold on?
So the chart pattern is quite weak. The company's commentary was quite weak also. So fundamentally a technical key is weak. But I think you have bought at a very good price since you are intraday to a short-term trader. I would suggest keep holding with a stop loss of 1240. If it closes below 1240 even for 5 minutes, I think you should exit it. Currently the stock is looking like it will do a small breakout around 1270 and it can reach levels of 1300. I think around 1300 you should think about exiting the counter. Your buying price is good, but please put a stop loss in the system of 1250 with a target of 1300 rupees.
All right, so that's the view coming in on KPIT Tech from Sharan. But with that, thank you so much, Sharan and Gaurang sir, for joining us today and helping our viewers with your expert advice on the stocks that they had queries on. With that, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining. All right, then, let's shift focus. Now, Brightcom Group, the ad tech company, which was under the SEBI scanner for violation of accounting norms, has said that the BSE and NSE, they've revoked the suspension in trading of its shares, which will resume on July 14th. But should investors trade in these shares? Are the governance concerns over? Sharad is joining us with a detailed timeline of what went wrong with the company.
Well, yes, it's a very important news flow coming, especially for the shareholders who have been affected by Brightcom Group. And of course, this has been a massive, massive wealth destroyer. Now, on BSE, the trading might resume under the T Group from July 14 as well. But let's go back and let's rewind why this stock is actually in focus. First one is the company had the SEBI show cause notice and interim orders from 2022 to 2023 as well, and of course there was fraud, there was misrepresentation, there was siphoning of funds, and also a lot of corporate governance issues coming in. And SEBI had actually issued an interim order against promoters also. Roughly the amount was almost 1300 crore rupees of ill-gotten profits from FY19 to 20, and the promoters misrepresented shareholding in 31 out of the 34 quarters. Interestingly, the final SEBI order that came on February 6th this year itself, where there was a 34 crore penalty hit and almost 15 crore was given to the promoters, and additional fines are also coming to the key managerial person. Interestingly, the financial statements actually were coming at an issue, of course, at elevated valuations. Now, of course, there was settlement also done, but the stock was suspended, and now the relisting is expected to happen from July 14. So, of course, promoter exit strategy, delayed compliance, and a whole lot of issues have actually cropped up for this company. It will be very interesting once it gets listed, at which price will it get listed, and what will happen to the existing shareholders who are already stuck in this counter.
All right, Shara, thank you so much for joining us with that. But we're completely timed out on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Tanishka and I will see you tomorrow with all your questions, getting them answered by our experts. So tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you so much for tuning in.